Hi guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I am introducing all of the makeup that I want to use up in 2021. I do have quite a lot to get through, so I'm just going to jump into the video. But before I do so, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. I would love to have you in the family. But let's start talking about all of the products I have right here. So like I mentioned, I have all of my makeup products right here that I want to focus on this year. These are products that won't necessarily be in a project. This is kind of an overview of what I want to focus on. Most of these products will probably be thrown into projects throughout the year, just to kind of help me get through them, but some of them I might just use more organically and get through that way. But I'm going to jump into all of the products, and I have a list on my phone as well, so I'm just going to go through that list and talk about the products. So the very first product that I want to use up this year is a roller from last year, and this is my Hula bronzer from Benefit. I have pretty decent pan on this product. It looks like this currently, so I definitely think I can get through this year. Last year I did focus on it a little bit, but it just kind of got away from me, and I used up quite a lot of cream bronzes last year as well, so this is something that I'm going to try to get through this year instead. So that is the first product. The second product that I have is another product that I focused quite a lot on last year, but it wasn't on my actual list of things I want to use up, but I have decided to put it in this year, and that is the Benefit Brow Pomade. This is just a looks like sample. I have been trying to get through this for a long time, and I had this in my Partners in Cream last year. I'm not sure what project I will throw this in this year, or if I will just try to use it up organically. But yeah, this is another product that I really want to get out this year, because I have kind of changed my preferences and I'm more into kind of powder products for my brows, or just doing the soap brow method now. So this is nothing that I really want to have in my collection anymore, but it is a decent brow product, so I still want to use it up rather than just decluttering it. So this is definitely something that I want to get out next year. I have two blushes that I want to get through next year, and one of them is a powder and the other one is a cream. The first one is the Clinique Blushing Blush Powder in the shade Precious Posy. I got this from a co-worker last year, and I actually haven't used this at all. It is completely untouched, but it is a blush that I want to get through this year. I think this will be a really nice everyday blush, which is why I'm introducing it. And since it is completely untouched, I kind of want to just put it in to see how long it actually takes to use up this blush, and also how much product is in here. So I will weigh this before I start using it and see how much product is actually in this, because it says it will have 3.1 grams, but we'll see if it is more than that, which I hopefully think it is. But yeah, it's just going to be more of an experiment, but I definitely think I can get this out next year as well. And then the next product is the Cha Cha tint from Benefit. This is again more of a deluxe size sample, and I have used this so much already, and I think this is getting to the end of the blush anyway. So this is definitely something that I want to use up next year, and I think this is going to be more of a give me product, but I love this blush and I have used this so much. Technically it is more of a blush and lip product, or like cheek and lip product, and back in the day I used to use this as a lip stain. I don't really like it that way anymore, and I mainly use this as a blush. So this is something that I definitely think I will be able to get out this year, but it's probably something that I'm going to focus more on in the summer months. I also have two highlighters that I want to get out this year, both of them being cream highlighters. The first one is the Colourpop Monster Super Shock Chic highlighter. This is the kind of pink tone highlighter that I have in my collection. It's like a white base with a pink flip in it. I quite like this highlighter, but it's getting quite old in my collection and it's just time to move this out. And as you can see, I did have a decent pan on this already, so this is hopefully something that I can move out of my collection this year. So that's going to be the first highlighter. Then the second highlighter is another cream highlighter like I mentioned, and this one comes from Me, and it's the Beat the Blues highlighter in the shade Pink Pearl. And hopefully, as you can see, I am already like halfway through this product. And this is more kind of a liquid highlighter. I think this is a dupe of the High Beam from Benefit, but I haven't tried that product, so I can't say if it is. But this is one that I want to move out, because I feel like this would be really good to use either underneath my foundation or as a base for powder highlighters. So I will have to play around with this, but this is definitely something that I think I can get out this year as well. I also have two foundations that I want to focus on this year. The first one is one of my higher end foundations, and that is the Dior Air Flash foundation. This one is in the shade 300, which is actually a bit too dark for me. So this is more of a summer foundation. The reason why I want to move it out is partly because it's getting quite old, but also because the shade isn't perfect for me. It's definitely more pink toned than what my skin is like, and when I do wear this I feel like it just clashes a bit and it's not, like I said, a perfect shade. So I think what I would actually do with this is use it more as a bronzer, like a cream blonde bronzer in the winter months, and then maybe in summer mix it with other things just to make the undertone work for me. But hopefully I will get this out this year, and last year I did actually finish up the lighter shade of this in 200, so I know I can do it, but I definitely think I have more in this product as well than I did in the other one, so this is one that I will have to probably focus a lot on this year to actually get out. Then the next foundation is very different in lots of ways. First of all, it's more of a affordable foundation. This is the Revolution Conceal and Define foundation in the shade F2.5. This is definitely a winter foundation for me. It's definitely quite light, and it works perfectly for me now, but it is something that I will probably have to focus on a lot now in the beginning of the year to actually get out, because in the summer this is definitely too light for me. I could potentially actually mix it with this one though in summer. That's something that I have to play around with to make it work, but yeah, I definitely want to get this foundation out this year, because although I think I picked this up, was it last year or the year before? So it's not too old in my collection, but I just don't love this foundation, and I have other foundations that I kind of want to just have in my rotation, and this is not one of them. So that is the reason why I want to move this out in 2021. So I also have two primers that I want to finish up this year. One of them is a deluxe size sample, and it is unopened as well. This is the number 7 Skin Illuminator. Again, I got this from a co-worker. Like I said, this isn't opened yet, so it is completely full, but judging from the weight of it, it doesn't feel too full, and I definitely feel like I can get through this quite quickly. And I just want to kind of get use out of this one and use it up before it gets too old, and also because I do kind of want to find my perfect primer and move out most of my other primers. So that's kind of part of why I want to use this up. Then the second primer is one that I've had for such a long time in my collection, and it's currently actually in my Shop My Stash, which is part of the reason why I decided to put it in to the products that I want to finish in 2021. And that is my Leblanc de Chanel primer from Chanel, obviously. This is a primer, like I said, I had for years and years in my collection, and I kind of saved this for special occasions, but it's getting really old now and it is still fine. I've been using it, like I said, in my Shop and Stash, and it doesn't break me out. The scent hasn't changed or anything, but I just kind of realized how old this is getting, and it is a kind of base product, so I do want to get this out before it gets too old, and it's just time to focus on it. So this is another thing that I do want to finish up in the upcoming year. Next up we have a concealer which I've had again for a really long time in my collection. This is the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer in the shade number 3. This is quite a deep shade for me, which is why I haven't used it up, and I think this is one that I would definitely have to focus on in summer, or I might play around with this as a cream bronzer again, because it's just way too deep for me to use most of the year. But this is just one that I want to move out because, like I said, I never reach for this because it is so deep, and I could potentially declutter it, but if I can find a use for it, I do kind of want to use it up, so that is going to be the next product. Then next up we have a corrector. This is one from Becca in the shade light to medium. It's the under eye brightening corrector. I do have a pan on this already because I did have it on a project, I believe in, was it 2019 or beginning of 2020? I can't remember, but it's again getting quite old, so I do want to finish this up, and I don't really reach for a corrector on an everyday basis unless I have it in a project or kind of want to focus on it. So that's why I'm throwing this into the list as well, because I just want to get it out, because I don't think a corrector is something that I need to have in my collection. So that is the next product that I want to focus on. So the next product that I have is a powder. This is again one I got from my colleague, and this is the Makeup Gallery Smoothly Dusted Pressed Powder, and I got this last year from her, so it's not that old, but it's just not the kind of perfect powder for me. I feel like a powder is a powder, so it's definitely something that I can use, but it is a bit too deep for me to use under my eyes. It just makes my concealer appear darker, so it's more of a face powder for me. And I have been using this kind of to blend out my bronzer and things like that, so it has been working for that. But it's just a powder that I don't feel like I need in my collection, and that's why I want to get it out. Next up we have a product that is very close to being both emptied and expired, and that is my Stila Glitter and Glow in the shade Diamond Dust. I absolutely love this shade. It's like a silver shade with kind of multicolored sparkles in it. It is stunning and I love this eyeshadow, but it's becoming very dry and I feel like it's drying out. It's also, like I said, very empty, so I definitely think that I can get this out this year. And yeah, I just want to get as much use out of this one as I can before it is completely dried out, because it's just a shade that I absolutely adore. We only have my lip products as well as my eyeliners left to go through, but there's quite a few products, so I'm just gonna kind of breeze through them as well. First up we have lip glosses, and I have 3 lip glosses that I want to finish. The first one is a rollover from last year again, and this is the Tanya Burr and Eye Candy collaboration in the shade Picnic in the Park. This is an absolutely stunning shade and I definitely think I can get through this year. I had way too many things to focus on last year, and as well as kind of wearing masks and being at home most of the time, I just didn't get a chance to focus on this, but I do think that I can get through this in 2021. The next 2 lip glosses both come from Clarins, and they are the Instant Light Natural Lip Perfectors in the shade 1 and 2. These are again getting quite old in my collection and I just don't love this lip gloss on me, so they are products that I want to get out this year because I do like the formula. I like how moisturizing they are, but the shades are a bit too light for me nowadays, so they are something that I want to get out before they get too old. I have 1 lip liner that I want to get through this year, and this is the number 7 Precision Lip Pencil in the shade Blush. This is just one of those that winds up, and as you can see I don't have too much left of this lip liner. The shade of this is really nice for every day, but lip liners in this shade is not something that I feel like is necessary to have in my collection, and that is kind of why I want to move this one out. So let's move into kind of bullet lipsticks next. This one is more of a lip gloss or like a lip balm, but this is the Dior Lip Glow in the shade 10 Hollow Pink. This is one, I actually have 2 of these in my collection, and this is one that I picked up because it looked really nice with all the sparkles. This is how much I have left of it, but I just don't find it that nice on my lips. So this is probably one that I'm going to use more as a lip balm before, like when I do my makeup or something like that, because it's just not the greatest shade on me because it just looks too shimmery and frosty. But since it is Dior and the quality of this is really moisturizing and quite nice, I do want to use it up rather than just decluttering it, so that is something that I want to focus on doing this year. I have 2 MAC lipsticks that I want to finish this year. The first one being Rebel. This is an old classic, but it's just getting old in my collection again and I want to focus in on this. I also don't have too much left of this lip product, so I do want to finish this hopefully in the upcoming autumn. And then the other one is in the shade Coral Bliss. And I have a bit more of this one, but it is melted a little bit and it's not my absolute favorite color, so it is something that I want to move out, and it is probably going to be one that I focus on in summer. Next up we have this random lipstick from Primark. It doesn't have a name, but it's just this kind of hot pink color. I really love this on the lips actually, and the formula is quite nice as well. It's very thin and it just feels really comfortable on the lips. So this is one that I want to focus on because it is getting a bit older and it's just not, I mean, it is, the thing is, it's Primark. It's, although I like the formula, this smells a bit cheap. The packaging isn't the best, and it's just one that I kind of want to focus on getting out. So this is one that I'm going to focus on and move out by the end of 2021. So I have 4 more bullet lipsticks to go. The next 3 are from Colourpop, and these are all the Matte X formula. I have, like I said, 3 shades. The first one is in the shade Sauce, the next one is in Daydream, and then lastly we have Mirror Mirror. So Mirror Mirror is like plummy kind of shade. We have Daydream, which is the nudist of them all. This is more of a brownie tone, as you can see. And then lastly we have Sauce, which is more of a kind of mauve tone, so that is this one right here. Then the final bullet lipstick is a rollover from last year. This is one that I tried to finish at the end of my Partner Sting Cream Project pan, and that is the Revlon lipstick in Pink in the Afternoon. I don't have very much left of this product, so I definitely think I can finish this up this year. And it is a nice pinky nude, but I just got really tired of it last year, so this is probably something that I won't focus on at the beginning of the year because I just need a little break from it, but by the end of 2021 this should definitely be out. Then the last 2 lip products that I have to focus on before we move into eyeliners are 2 from Bourjois, and these are the Rouge Edition Velvets. The first one is in the shade Pink Pong, which is like a bright kind of blue tone pink shade. And then the second one is this French name which I can't pronounce, but it is the second shade in the range, and I'm gonna zoom in so hopefully you can read it there, but that is the second shade I want to finish. Next up we have all of the eyeliners, and these are all the ones I want to focus on. They are mostly Colourpop cream gel liners, but we're going to start with the one that isn't. This is an eyeliner which I really don't know what brand it comes from. This is just one that says makeup liner, and its shade is 02. My mom picked this up and she didn't use this, so she gave it to me, and it's just this kind of light whitish silver shade, and it's one that I kind of want to use up this year. It doesn't have too much pigment, as watched right there, so I think it's going to be one that's nice within the corner or as a base rather than on my actual waterline. But I do want to get through this year because I don't know how old this is, but it still smells fine and it's still creamy, so I do just want to use this up. Then we have my Colourpop cream gel liners. I have them right here, and the reason why I want to focus on these are because they are getting quite old and these dry out. Or they're not that old, they're like a year and a bit. No, some of them aren't even a year, I think, but they do dry out quite quickly, and I do want to get this up because by the end of 2021 these are going to be almost 2 years old. So by that point I'm expecting most of these to be completely dried out, and that's why I want to focus on all of these. If I can't finish all of them, that's fine, but I do want to have them on this list just to kind of keep myself accountable and remind myself to use these, because I do want to get my use out of these rather than just decluttering them or then drying out. So the first one I have is in the shade Boots, which is a pink. The next one I have is in the shade Sulo, which is like a light kind of minty turquoise. Next up we have the shade Punch, and this is a yellow one. I think this one is the oldest out of the bunch, and it's already starting to dry out a bit, so this is one that I will have to focus on at the start of the year. Next up we have the shade Teaspoon, which is this kind of greeny shade right there. We have the shade Piggy Bank, which is a purple. Then we have the shade Puppy, which is this orange shade. And lastly we have the shade Prawns, which is this blue. So that I guess is all for this video. Like you can tell, I have quite a few products that I want to focus on this year, but I just want to continue to downsize my collection to a point where I feel more comfortable with it and I have products that I just adore. So that is it for this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Also, like I mentioned before, if you're new here, please consider subscribing. It would mean the world to me. And otherwise, I really hope you have an amazing day, and I will talk to you in my next video. Bye guys.